Today's class that I'm going to film for you is all about posture. So if you struggle with tight back and shoulders, maybe from hunching over a laptop or sitting at a desk, if you commute a lot and you're sitting for long periods of time, or if you just know that you tend to go into a bit of a fawn reaction, maybe when you're at work and your shoulders tend to round in, you get a bit hunched and you feel like you're lacking confidence, today's class is all about adjusting the posture so that your back can feel easier and so that you can feel a little bit more confident by taking a strong posture. So we're actually going to start with a posture check. So just invite you to stand up with me. So just standing with your feet sort of hip width apart, but don't worry about adjusting your posture at this point. Don't think, oh, I'm doing a yoga class, I'm doing a movement class and I have to take yogi stance. I just want you to stand naturally, maybe as if you were waiting for the train. And just bring in a little bit of awareness to your body to start with. Maybe starting from the soles of your feet. Notice where your weight is distributed on your feet. Is it equal? Are your ankles rolling in or rolling out? You don't need to make any adjustments, just observing. And bringing our attention up to our calves, our knees, our thighs, maybe the hamstrings at the back of the legs. Noticing how the legs feel and noticing the position of the pelvis and the hips on top of your legs. Is it slightly tilted forward, tilted back? Is it in a neutral position? Do your hips feel comfortable? Moving up to your low back, does it feel pinchy, uncomfortable, tight, or is it quite easy? Traveling up, noticing any points of pinching or tension in your spine, in your shoulder blades, maybe in the tops of your shoulders. And feeling how your arms are sitting and your collarbones. Are they pulled back? Are they rolled forward? Are your arms hanging loose at your side, or is there a bit of tension in them? And bringing your attention to your neck, the position of your neck and the angle of your neck and any tightness there. And then drawing your attention to your eyes and where your eyes naturally fall when you're standing in this position. Are you looking down at the ground? Are you looking ahead of you, straight ahead, up towards the sky? So we're just observing our natural posture. And now cueing into how this posture makes us feel. So you may want to place a hand on your chest, on your belly at this point, if it helps you to tune inwards. You don't have to. You may want to close your eyes or you can keep them open. But just checking in with the link between the body and your energy and emotions. So what is this posture communicating to you? Do you feel at ease and confident? Do you feel a little bit smaller than you could do, maybe a bit younger? Is your mood low and flat, or are you actually quite anxious? And how is your body's posture related to those feelings? And once you have a sense of how your posture and your emotions and energy are linked, we're just going to bring our hands back by our sides if you have them on your chest. And we're going to start making some very tiny adjustments. So first of all, just imagining a string connecting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling or up towards the sky. And just ever so slightly adjust your posture so that that string is a taut, straight line with no bends in it, connecting the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Notice the change that has made in the position of your eyes, your chin, your jaw, and your shoulders. Now imagine that there's a string with a weight on it attached to your tailbone. pulling it down towards the floor. And again, make any slight adjustments to tuck your pelvis, your tailbone, so that that weight is pulling the tailbone straight down towards the floor. And now notice your feet, and just roll from side to side, forward and back on your feet, noticing what that does to that connection between your tailbone and that weight. And come to a point on your feet where that line is nice and straight and the weight is balanced equally across your feet. And just imagine that that line attaching to the top of your head and that weight from your tailbone are pulling gently in opposite directions. And just adjust your posture to lengthen out as they pull you in each direction. And coming back to stillness, just notice, again with a little body scan, what changes have occurred in your stance from your feet all the way up your legs, your hips, your pelvis, your mid-back and shoulders, your collarbones, and the position of your head, how your arms are hanging, making these small adjustments. Check in also again with how this shift in posture makes you feel energetically and emotionally. We're now going to take a series of stretches that are going to move through the body from the neck all the way down to the hips, and then we're going to come back and do that posture adjustment again and see if it feels a little bit easier the second time. So coming down into a seated position, you could be kneeling or you could be cross-legged. We're going to move around on the mat quite a bit. We're just going to start by checking the mobility in the neck and in the shoulders. So to begin with, just turn your head as far as you can to the right without straining. Just to observe the natural turn of your neck, and turn the other way and check how far you can naturally go. Then lifting your right hand straight up towards the ceiling and bend so that the palm of your hand or the tips of your fingers can reach between your shoulder blades. Bring your other hand behind you and just see how far you can get, whether you can touch fingers, whether there's a big gap, whether maybe even you can interlace your fingers. And then let's just repeat on the other side, so bringing that left hand behind the shoulder blades and seeing how far you can get that right hand without straining. We're just checking mobility. Okay, so we're going to begin then by loosening up the neck and the shoulders and bringing the top two vertebrae, the C1, C2 vertebrae, in line. And we're going to use a little salamander technique to do this. So sitting up nice and straight, thinking still about that weight from the tailbone and that thread from the head, even as we're seated. Just drop your right ear towards your right shoulder and then let your eyes drift up towards the left, looking up towards the ceiling or the corner of the room. Loosen your jaw a little bit and then just hold this gaze just until you get a sign of release. It could be a sigh, a swallow, a spontaneous yawn, an increase of saliva in your mouth perhaps, a sense of ease and relaxation in the rest of your body, even your tummy gurgling. And once you have that sign of relief, just come back to the middle, blink your eyes a few times, and then bring your left ear to your left shoulder and let your eyes drift up towards the right. Loosen your jaw again. And then just keep that gaze, waiting for that sign of release. Coming back to center, blink your eyes a few times. So we're going to come down now onto our backs. Keeping your feet on the ground and your knees up. Interlacing your fingers and bringing them behind the back of your skull so that you can support your head. From this position, on an inhale, press your feet into the ground, press your low back into the ground, and just lift your chin towards your chest. So it's not a sit-up position, this is really focused on our necks. Take an exhale. On the next inhale, bring your elbows up beside your head and lift your hands slightly. And on the exhale, let your head relax into your hands. You'll start to feel a nice pull along the back of the neck. So inhale, press your back into the mat, lift your elbows slightly, and on the exhale, relax your head back into the hands. Once more. Inhale and exhale. Roll back down onto the mat. Let your elbows be wide for a moment. We're going to repeat that again. So pressing your low back into the mat, lifting your chin towards your chest, but this time, as you bring your elbows in, turn towards the left. On an inhale, lifting your elbows up slightly, and on the exhale, letting your head relax back into your hands. Repeat that twice more. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Coming back down to the mat, take a pause. And then for the last time, lifting up. Remembering to press your low back into the mat, turning towards the right, bringing your elbows in. And on the inhale, lifting your elbows up. On the exhale, relaxing your head back into your hands. Twice more. And coming back down to the mat, just bring your arms down, let them rest by your side for a moment. Probably got a nice little bit of core activation there as well, just with some bonus. Use your hands to bring yourself back up, and we're actually going to come straight away into an all-fours position on the mat. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Pressing your fingertips nice and wide so that you can really press into the mat, drawing your stomach in to support your back. We're just going to be focusing on the shoulder blades now. This is a very, very subtle movement. It might be quite hard for the camera to pick up, so I'll try and explain it as best as possible. So keeping a nice straight neck, looking slightly ahead of your hands. On an inhale, drop your shoulder blades and press them together, imagining there's a pencil between your shoulder blades that you're trying to grab hold of. And on the exhale, press your shoulder blades up and away, separating them out, making as wide a space as possible between them. So inhale, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Exhale, pressing them out and widening them. We're going to do that 10 times. So just flow with your own breath here. Pressing the shoulder blades together, pressing them apart. Keep pressing your hands into the mat. Keep supporting your low back. That's 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Going back onto your knees, maybe shake your wrists out a little bit, take some wrist circles. We're going to come back either to kneeling or to seated, your choice. And we're going to try those archer arms again. I'm going to use a strap for this. So you could use, say, a belt from a bathrobe, you could use a theraband, you might have a strap or something like that. You don't have to, so if you don't have anything like this, you can just clasp your fingers, or if your fingers can't reach, you can just actually hold on to the fabric of your t-shirt or whatever you're wearing. But if you have a strap, this can be a nice way to make the pose a little bit more accessible. So I'm just going to bring the strap over my right shoulder and down by my left waist, and then coming back into that archer arms variation. So lifting my right hand up, bringing it down, and I'm going to take hold of the strap wherever it naturally reaches, lifting my left hand behind and grasping the strap, and then I'm going to gently pull my hands in opposite directions, widening my collarbones, my shoulders, trying to bring a lot of space between my ears and my shoulders, pointing my right elbow up towards the ceiling, left elbow down towards the floor. And just coming into some nice slow breaths. We're going to hold this pose for about 60 seconds. Noticing as you hold this pose, if you can relax into it a little bit more. If you can broaden your collarbones. And then just release it. Maybe loosen up the arms a little bit. And we're just going to go to the other side. So bringing the strap across my left shoulder and down by my right hip. Lifting up the arm, taking hold of the strap wherever I can, and the same with the right arm. Don't expect the same experience on both sides. Your dominant hand is normally a little bit tighter than the other side. So holding on to the strap, taking some nice deep breaths, gradually pulling across so that I've got a nice broad stretch across my collarbones. Pointing the right elbow down, left elbow up, keeping lots of space in my neck. And finding nice steady breaths again. Notice if you're clenching your teeth or clenching the muscles in your legs. Try not to work any muscles that don't need to work in this pose. And then releasing that strap. Let's just take a few shoulder rolls. Bring the shoulders up, back and round. Going in the other direction. And let's just take a little twist. So left hand to right knee. You can even turn the back of the hand to the knee, which just ensures you don't overstretch too much. Bringing the right hand behind you or onto your waist. Lifting up straight and just turning to the right. Keeping your hips facing forward so this really is a stretch through the mid-back and upper back. A few deep breaths here. See if you can find a bit more space in your spine, lifting up tall. Coming back to center, we'll just repeat straight away on the other side. So back of the right hand behind the left knee, hand on your wrist, on your waist or behind you. Straightening up, turning open towards the left. Finding that nice straight spine again. See if there's a bit more space. And then come back to centre. And let's just check that mobility again. So turn your head to the right and just see how far you can reach this time. Turning your head to the left, checking that mobility. And just see if there's a bit more space in the arms as well, if it's maybe slightly easier to grasp your hands on either side. So we're going to come to standing now. Probably be relieved to give your knees a bit of a break if you've been in a little Japanese seat. We're just going to start with some gentle spinal rolls. So I'm just turning to the side so that you can see. Just planting your feet nice and firmly, dropping your chin to your chest, rolling your shoulders in, and starting to drop your body down vertebrae by vertebrae, letting the weight of your arms carry you down into a forward fold, just as far as you naturally get. Don't try and strain here. At the bottom, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, press into your feet. Slowly start to roll back up again, vertebrae by vertebrae. Lifting back up, rolling your shoulders back till the top of your head points towards the ceiling. Big inhale, on the exhale, let's repeat that again. Tucking the chin, rolling the shoulders, rolling down, letting the weight of the body carry you down, all the way down. Big inhale, and on the exhale, pressing into your feet, slowly rolling back up again, inch by inch, till your head is straight. Last time, tucking in the chin, rolling the shoulders, slowly rolling down towards the ground. And this time, when you reach the ground, let's just stay in this forward fold. I'm just going to step back onto my mat here. Just let your upper body hang heavy. You might want to bring in a little bit of a sway, front to back or side to side. Just really decompressing. You can grasp opposite elbows to give a bit more traction onto the spine as well, if that's helpful. And then bringing your hands down to the ground, or you might want to grab some blocks or a pile of books if you can't quite reach the ground. Let's just start pedaling out the feet, so pressing into one heel, letting the other knee come forward, and then pressing the other knee forward, pressing back, just as if you're walking on the ground. Just feeling into your hamstrings, seeing how they're feeling. Keeping the top of your head pointing down towards the ground. And then let's just come to stillness for a moment. We're going to bring in a little bit of a twisting action. So bending into your left knee slightly, keeping your right leg straight. Plant your fingers or your hand down on the ground or on some blocks, and then twisting up so that your right hand is up towards the ceiling. Calming back down, and as you bring that hand down, shift the leg so the bend is in the right knee. Left leg is straight, and twisting to the left, bringing the left arm up. Bringing it down, swapping legs, so bend in the left hand down, right arm up. Big inhale, bring it down, bend in the right, left leg straight, left arm up. Let's just do 3 more of those on each side, going at your own pace. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. One more on each side. Calming to stillness. I'm just going to turn around so that you can see. We'll just roll back up again. Taking your time. And then from here, just going to widen our feet, a little bit wider than hip width apart, heels in, toes out, and we're going to come down into a little squat. Now, if like me, you have very tight hips, your heels might not reach the ground, in which case this is where having some blocks or maybe a rolled towel or blanket can be good. So propping something underneath your heels so that you can balance your heels down, and then you can bring your hands together and use your elbows just to gently press your knees a little bit further apart. Find a position that works for you, and then aiming to just let those hips drop down between your feet. Just imagine that weight again from the pelvis down towards the floor, pulling your tailbone down at the same time as that thread draws the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Just see if you can come into stillness here. Just imagining a bit more space developing in your spine, letting your hips relax. Three more breaths. When you're ready, just bring your hands to the ground so that you can rock your weight forward onto your knees. Tuck your blocks or your books away. Coming down, you might just want to stretch your legs out, give them a little wobble, just to loosen them up a little bit. And we're going to come straight way down onto our back, and we're going to grab the strap again here. Now again, if you don't have a strap, don't worry, you can just use your hands for this. So coming down onto the mat, I'm just going to bring my strap around the ball of my right foot, stretching that foot up towards the ceiling and holding the strap with one or both hands so that your upper arms can relax onto the ground. If you don't have a strap, you can just hold on to the back of your thigh or further up your calf. On an inhale, you're just going to pull on the strap slightly, just pulling your leg in towards you. And on the exhale, just press into the ball of your foot against that strap, pushing away. On the inhale, drawing that strap in a little bit. And on the exhale, pressing away. You notice these are very subtle movements. You really don't need to overdo stretching. Pulling in and stretching away. And once you've done that 3 times, let's just hold the strap there. See if you can really relax your right thigh, your right hip. Just let the strap do the work. Take a nice deep breath. And if you'd like, you can also now stretch your left leg out. So we're going to transfer the strap into our left hand. Stretch the right hand out beside you for a bit of support. And holding onto the strap with the left, just going to bring that leg over to open up. Trying to keep your left hip down on the floor, but don't go so far that your hip starts to lift up. Pressing the ball of the foot into the strap, just finding that stretch through the inside of the leg. Nice big inhale, stay for the exhale. Coming back to center. Swap the strap into the right hand, stretch out your left hand for support, and just let that leg come over across the body to the left, holding onto the strap. Feeling that stretch on the outside of the leg now. Pressing the ball into the strap. Big breath in and out. Come back to center. I'm just going to cross your right foot across your left knee. Bring that left knee up. Pressing the right knee away from you. You can stay here if this is enough, or lifting up to bring that knee in closer to you. Threading your hands through to the front of your shin or the back of your thigh, whatever's more comfortable. Flexing your right foot to protect your knee and really focusing on pressing that right knee away from you. You should feel this through your glute. We'll take 3 breaths here. Breathing in, and on the exhale, just see if you can squeeze them a little bit closer. Keeping your upper back and shoulders relaxed. Bringing that left foot down to the ground, stretching out both your legs, stretching up above your head, get a nice long full body stretch. And then let's bring both knees back up and we'll repeat that on the left. So bringing the strap across the ball of the left foot, stretching it up towards the ceiling initially, finding a comfortable position, making sure your upper body, upper arms are relaxed on the mat. On the inhale, just going to pull that strap towards you slightly, and on the exhale, press into the ball of the foot against the strap. Twice more. Pulling it in and pressing away. And then just come to stillness. And if you'd like, you can stretch out your right leg as well. Using the strap to do the work. Taking the strap in your right hand first of all, stretching out your left arm, and just let that left leg open out to the side, just as far until the right hip starts lifting off the mat. Again, don't expect symmetry. All bodies are asymmetrical, so you'll have different experiences on both sides. Pressing the ball of the foot into the strap. Nice big breath in and out. Coming back to centre. Switching the strap to your left hand, stretch out your right hand for balance, and let that leg open across the body, pressing into the strap with the ball of the foot so that you feel that stretch down the IT band. Nice big breath in and out. Coming back to centre, remove the strap, we won't leave that anymore. Crossing your right knee, right ankle across your left ankle across your right knee, lifting up. Pressing your left knee away from you, keeping that foot flexed, and stay here or lifting up. Draw that right knee closer to you. Keep pressing your left knee away from you. On an inhale, little squeeze in. Relax into the pose. Repeat a couple more times. Little squeezes and relax. Stay for one more. And letting it go. Stretch out long on the mat. Nice big stretch. Maybe wiggle your ankles in some circles. Bring your feet back up to the mat and use your hands to bring yourself back up. And we're going to bring our soles of our feet together with knees at right angles. So not in at a butterfly, but out in turtle pose or right angle pose. Just bringing yourself to a nice straight spine, all the way from the base of your pelvis up towards your head. And then just leaning forward just as far as you can naturally tilt. Then resting your hands, palms up on your legs, and let your spine round in. Relax your legs, relax your knees towards the ground, relax your hips and your spine. Doing no work at all in this pose.
Just letting gravity pull on your spine. One last nice deep stretch. Nice deep breath so that you can feel the skin of your back expanding on the inhale. Relaxing down a little bit more with every exhale. One last deep breath in and out. And then pressing your hands into the mat or into your legs, walk your hands in closer to you to bring yourself back up to a nice straight spine. Lift up your knees, maybe take a few windscreen wiper motions just to loosen everything out. Coming back to seated, we're just going to take that little twist one last time. So bringing the back of your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you, straighten up and twist. Just notice if maybe there's a bit more movement this time. Keeping your spine nice and straight. Coming back to center, just straight away to the other side. And coming back to center. Okay, let's do those posture checks again. So coming back up to standing. And just come to a natural standing position. And just feel in what differences there are to where we started this class. Think about the balance of the feet, the position of the kneecaps, the thighs, the hips, the pelvis, the tuck of the pelvis, the breadth of your collarbones, the space that your arms are taking up, and where your eyes are leveling out. Notice how your posture feels now and also how your body feels. And you might want to particularly take note of the points in the body that feel like there's a lot of release from those stretches. Those are probably the parts of the body where you carry the most tension and are worth paying a bit of attention to with your stretching routine. Let's just take one last little posture adjustment. So imagining that thread again from the crown of the head, stretching up towards the ceiling, and that weight from the tailbone, pulling you down towards the ground in one straight line. Feel into the minute adjustments that makes. Feeling in